Hi, this is my project for IST676. I'm here to present to you a proposal for the digitization and incorporation of the Werner von Boelstern Shanghai Jewish Refugee Collection into Loyola Marymount University's Digital Library Program. Between 1938 and 1941, 18 to 20,000 German and Yiddish-speaking Jews arrived in Shanghai, China from Europe, ultimately escaping what would become mass genocide. The arrival and temporary settlement of Jewish refugees in Shanghai is not simply a story of Jewish diaspora. It is a complex tale of culture, community struggle, and though far from Hitler's Germany, near tragedy as the refugees lived under Japanese occupation. Numerous images of this rarely discussed yet highly significant historical event can be found in Loyola Marymount University's Werner von Boelstern Shanghai Jewish Refugee Collection. Housed in the William H. Hannon Library's Department of Archives and Special Collections, SJRC contains 513 photographic negatives taken and donated by Werner von Boelstern. This collection, what I'll call the SJRC for short, captures daily Jewish life in Shanghai, refugee documentation, as well as images of the city and the citizens of Shanghai between the years 1937 and 1949. For the purposes of access and preservation, this collection is being proposed for digitization and incorporation into LMU's digital library program. As the collection stands now, it is stored, as it has been for decades, in the Archives and Special Collections vault, where it remains relatively unseen due to its nearly inaccessible state as photographic negatives. The digitization of this collection will appeal to a worldwide community of scholars and students, preserve the integrity of the original artifacts, and complement similar existing digital and print collections held by other institutions. There are only a few significant or substantial Shanghai Jewish refugee-related online collections, two of which are the Yad Vashem Digital Collection and the Center for Jewish History's Digital Collection. The number of photographs in the SJRC would far exceed both of these resources. That means that it would exceed them online. Likely these institutions have many more images that are just not digitized. Other substantial non-digitized photograph and print collections are housed at the Shanghai Jewish Refugee Museum in Shanghai, China, the University of California, Berkeley, the New York State Archives, and the Jewish Museum of Australia. Generally, the phenomenon of Jewish refugees in Shanghai has a limited and poorly organized online presence, with many of the photographs from this period existing in ephemeral blogs and news articles that were likely taken from redundant sources such as the Center for Jewish History. This lack of cohesion and presence contributes to the obscurity of this historical event. That said, this event is slowly being brought to light and popular awareness. In 2002, the feature-length award-winning documentary Shanghai Ghetto presented the realities of Japanese enforced Jewish ghettos to film audiences. In 2008, Yuri Gutman, Israel's consul general in Shanghai, began working in conjunction with the Shanghai Jewish Refugee Museum to compile a database of Jewish refugees living in Shanghai during World War II. In 2011, Schindler's List producer Branko Lustig visited Shanghai, where he announced his plan to produce a movie about Shanghai Jewish refugees. Multiple major newspapers have recently made references to this phenomenon, including a 2012 article in the Los Angeles Times titled China's Little Vienna, and an article in the New York Times titled Jewish Life in Shanghai's Ghetto. While this may be a relatively little discussed historical event, the lives of Jews in Shanghai, China seem to be a subject matter on the near cusp of popular awareness and much academic interest. LMU, through the digitization and incorporation of SJRC images into its digital library program, will be able to meet the growing needs of this emerging research trend. Access to this collection is of vital importance to users researching the Holocaust, World War II, the Second Sino-Japanese War, European settlers in China, Jewish diaspora, and 20th century pre-Maoist China. For this reason, SJRC is expected to appeal to a wide variety of users, academic and non-academic. Two expected key demographics are historical researchers and Jewish studies scholars. In terms of historical researchers, studies have shown that the use of digital archives for historical research is on the rise. Dong-Hee Sin's 2012 study, Impact of Digital Collections on Historical Research, analyzed citations in the journal American Historical Review. Sin's study demonstrated a 30% increase in usage of digital materials between 2001 and 2010, with 20% of articles citing digital sources in 2001 and 51.43% of articles citing digital sources in 2010. Sin's study demonstrates both a notable increase in the use of digital materials and the growing awareness of and respect for digital collections as locations of authoritative sources. Taking into account LMU's existing digital collections, Catholicism in Los Angeles, America's West, and the changing faces of California, adding the SJRC would not only enhance the already robust historical nature of the program, it would open it up to an even wider and more diverse viewership. Jewish studies scholars and students are an ideal user group for SJRC. Jewish studies has been a quickly growing area of scholarship since the 1960s, flourishing in North America, Europe, and Israel. More recently, Jewish studies have become a great area of interest in China as well, where no less than 10 Chinese institutions of higher learning are able to grant degrees in Jewish history and culture. Whether it is American Jewish University, Indiana University, University College London, or Nanjing University, the scholastic appeal of SJRC is far-reaching nationally and internationally. Locally, here in Los Angeles, there are a number of university Jewish study programs, including at the University of California, Los Angeles, Pepperdine University, and of course Loyola Marymount University. Established in 2009, LMU's Young program is both an ideal built-in user group, and a built-in user group. Additionally, the library's relationship with LMU's Jewish Study program should be seen as more than providing patrons to the collection. It should be seen as a potential partner in the collection's development by having students of the program contribute to the research process. This exchange of scholarship would not only increase the academic quality of the bibliographic metadata, but would also create multiple learning opportunities for LMU students, making SJRC more than a research collection. It would make it a teaching one. The main goal for the SJRC is that its digitization and incorporation into LMU's digital library program will provide a major online resource for the study of Jewish refugees in 1930s, 1940s Shanghai. In addition, the online collection will bring a little-known historical event to greater light, and it will provide access to and preservation of significant photographic images barely accessible at this time. To strengthen the usability and significance of this online collection, two key objectives must be accomplished. First, more metadata about the content of the images must be gathered, and second, the collection must be properly promoted to groups inside and outside of LMU. Wernher von Bolstern donated the Wernher von Bolstern Shanghai Jewish Refugee Collection to LMU as part of one of his many donations to the university sometime between 1967 and 1978. The collection was a small part of von Bolstern's much larger donation of 1 million postcards, which is now referred to as the Wernher von Bolstern Postcard Collection, and is one of the largest publicly accessible collections of its kind. Due to the magnitude of von Bolstern's postcard donation, this relatively small collection of photographic negatives has been overshadowed. The SJRC consists of 445 acetate negatives and 68 glass plate negatives, and includes a variety of film formats ranging from 35mm to 3x4. The physical integrity of the negatives is sound, though they appear to be exhibiting signs of fading. Fortunately, at this point, the images are restorable by making minor adjustments in Photoshop. The possible fading of these images lends greater credence to the need for their preservation. Any complexities that come with the digitization of these images, be it the various negative format sizes or the possible image fading, can be met with equipment and software available in the Hannon Library's digital lab. The Special Collections Assistant and Work Study Supervisor, who is me, will be responsible for planning, implementing, and managing the digital project. I will work closely with and seek the professional guidance of digital program librarian Shilpa Rele, the head of archives and special collections Cynthia Becht, and manuscript curator Clay Stalls, who directly oversees the Shanghai Refugee Collection. I, as well as work study students under my supervision, will perform the digitizing process. The technical and organizational procedures on this slide have been put into place by the digital program librarian and are the standard procedures for all of the digital library programs, digitization projects. Basically, the workflow will go like this. The digital librarian will create a digital collection titled the Werner von Bollstern Shanghai Refugee Collection in Content DM. Both she and I will be responsible for uploading of scanned images and metadata. The entire collection will be digitized in the in-house in the Hannon Library's digital lab. Technical specifications for digitization are based on professionally accepted best practices and include using TIFFs, 600 DPI resolution, and 24-bit RGB. And if we have to make any adjustments to the color or levels of the images, first it will have to be approved by Shilpa, the digital librarian. Scanned images will temporarily be saved to the local T drive server before being uploaded to Content DM, and then they will be removed from the T drive. We have, as you can see, a file naming convention. I won't go into all of it. And this file name will become the digital ID, which will be both incorporated in the metadata as well as written on the negative sleeve so that we can cross-reference everything. If we need to repull the negative, we will have that available. And we will have a tracking sheet that will keep track of everything from the digital ID to the container information, the date of digitization, the initials of the person who did the digitization, any comments about the condition of the negative or something that went wrong with the scanner. And finally, all archival master files will also be preserved in the OC/LC dark archive. So they won't just be uploaded; they will be in the dark archive. And then there's metadata. Initial metadata will be extracted from written descriptions on the negative sleeves provided by the collection's original processor, Errol Stevens. We will use Dublin Core will be the established metadata vocabulary and will include the following elements: title, subject, description, creator date, type, language rights, provenance, format menu, format medium, identifier, and copyright status. The time and expense of this digital project has been calculated based on the total number of digital files to be scanned and the labor necessary to scan them. Storage of the images will be in LMU's existing OC/LC digital archive account and are not expected to increase the cost at this time. In other words, adding this collection to what we already have will not add to greater expense. The time estimation is as follows. In short, we're expecting to scan about 16 hours per week, and that will mean that it'll take about a month and a half to scan everything, and then I would add another month for quality control, technical issues, and so forth. Any kind of technical delays. The project is anticipated to begin February of 2013 and be uploaded to Content DM by the first week of April 2013. It is also expected that the metadata we're providing for this will be limited and that more metadata will be added over time. And I'm going to stop it here and start a new video in just a moment because I am getting close to the 15-minute mark.